go again.
I demand more. I want it, have it.
What is going on this evening, ladies and
Hi.
gentlemen? Hello, Miss Emily Elgin. How are you tonight?
I'm so good.
It is so good to see you here. I'm going to do a little bit of a sound check here myself with you. We're going to go ahead and get this looped on there, but I don't want to be too loud for you. So you let me know if you can hear that.
Yep, I can hear you fine.
Okay. Can you hear me, and can you hear your sound in that background, madam?
Can I hear my sound?
Can you hear yourself?
I can. No, no.
You don't hear yourself singing?
Oh, yes, now I do.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm
It's
good.
good.
How are you?
I'm doing great. It's finally nice to unofficially, virtually meet you here on
I
this
know.
TikTok.
I know. I see your face all the time because I'm always tuning in and jumping on. Like, I'll be working and scrolling and I'll be like, oh, it's Grant. He's on. And I'll jump on and listen to the show for a little bit.
And we love it. I love that you showed up here. Just kind of want to jump in if you don't mind. Are we going to jump
Yeah.
in? You go.
Yeah,
All
let's
right.
do it.
So, Miss Emily Elgin here. Go ahead and let you know she started her journey, if I'm not mistaken, in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
and now you're not in Oklahoma. You've since relocated to the
Nashville.
neon lit, as she says, Nashville, right?
Yeah, Nash Vegas.
And how long ago did you do that?
8 years ago,
8
in
years ago.
2015.
Okay, and is that about when your music journey began, or how did your music journey begin? Let's jump right in. I want to know.
Well, on a professional level, yes, that's when it started. I decided to move here from Oklahoma to pursue music on a professional level in 2015. But I've been singing my whole life and doing all that. So whenever I was little, I was in talent shows and stuff. And then growing up, I was in choir in middle school. And then when I got older and I was old enough to get in bars, I discovered karaoke. So
Old enough to get into the bars. That's not everybody.
I was karaoke queen for a while and just always singing with any band that would let me get up with them.
Hmm.
I would.
Now, was that
Oh,
back in Oklahoma, or was that when you went
yep,
in Nashville?
Oklahoma.
Tell us about Oklahoma. What was it like for you growing up in Oklahoma?
Oklahoma's a great place. It really is. They're just the community there is amazing. The people are amazing.
Hmm.
There's surprisingly quite a bit to do there, which a lot of people think Oklahoma, there's nothing to do, but there is.
Yeah.
um, it's a great place, and I miss the big Oklahoma skies. That was a big adjustment for me when I moved here because there's hills here and
Hmm.
mountains, so I wasn't used to that, and I felt kind of claustrophobic when I first moved here.
Okay. Okay. But you enjoyed it overall? I mean, you're
I
not in the
love it.
thick of it, or you're in the outskirts. We don't want to give your location away, but what did you decide when you moved to Nashville? Did you decide the heavy city part? Did you decide I'm going to stick on the outside of it? What'd you go with?
Yeah, I'm not a city girl. I'm
Okay. Okay.
I'm really not. So when I first moved here, I got a job working on a ranch in
Mm,
Leapers Fork, which is like 35, 40 minutes south of Nashville. And
okay.
I rode horses professionally for a really long time. So I was
Okay.
riding horses for a cowboy that ran a ranch. So I worked for him and lived on the ranch for like 6 years. And that's kind of where I would just travel back and forth to Nashville, which it's not a far drive. It's
Okay.
25 minutes. So
Okay. Oh, now we're putting radiuses out there. Now we're narrowing down. We're gonna get grid locations here soon, and then people are just gonna be fangirling outside Emily Elgin's
uh-huh.
house. And
Uh-huh.
Miss Emily and Miss Paula Abbott specifically, she is a huge fan of yours.
That's
Um,
so sweet.
she tells me all the time. She loves everything you've put out, and I mean I do as well. I love everything you put out, especially. I mean, you sent the EP, and it was very kind, and generous of you, and it was very thoughtful. I pop it in a truck, and it's been in my CD thing. I listen to it. It's your EP gets me from home to work, start to
Yay.
finish, and from start to finish, work to home. I can go,
That's awesome.
and it's
That's
almost
amazing.
pulling in and pulling out at the same time. So it's kind of cool.
That's amazing.
I love it. I love everything about that EP that you put out. Talking about early on with Oklahoma, were there any early influences back in Oklahoma, or was it
Oh
just
yeah.
something you picked up?
Yeah, I have musical, like just music runs in my family. I had uncles that sang, and then I've got uncles on my mama's side, and then aunts and uncles on my dad's side, and people in bands, and cousins that play instruments and sing and stuff. So
Hmm.
music has always been a big thing. But as far as within my family, I was the only singer, and I don't know, I just always
It just
sang,
took
and it
off.
would. Yes, it would annoy you. You know, growing up with your brother and sister, they don't give a shit if you can sing or not, or if you're
No,
good
they
at
don't
singing.
care.
No, so they'd be like, "Emily, shut up! You're so loud!" You know.
Oh my! Excuse me one second here. I have a special delivery. My daughter and my wife just brought me a fresh hot cup of tea
That's nice.
and some little yogurt raisins and a string cheese.
See, VIP right there. That's
Do you
awesome.
want to say hello to Miss Emily? Come on over here.
Hi,
Hi, how are you?
You want to tell her what your name is?
lady.
Her name is Lainey,
You're
and
so cute.
she is the next Lainey Wilson. She said she's gonna be the next Lainey Wilson. That's what she was for Halloween.
Was she really?
Yeah, I have to share the picture with you through IG. I'll have to send it to you. She was so cute. My wife found these outfits for her on Temu, I think it was, and these
Uh-huh.
bell-bottom things that Lainey wears, and
Cute.
she was something else with her little guitar, her little acoustic.
Love it.
I
That's
love
so
it. Thank you for bringing it up here. I got to get back to this, okay? Thank you. Sorry
Hey,
about that, guys. I appreciate it. And where were we? We were talking about the influences. Sorry about that. Yes, the influences back in Oklahoma. Your brothers and sisters. They didn't care. Brothers and sisters don't care. It's just like shut up. But hey, I'm out here trying to make. I'm trying to make a living here. This is gonna be my life.
and it's funny now because now there's some of my biggest supporters. My family's they really
Hmm.
support me in doing all this. So it's it's a crazy business, man.
I bet.
It really is. There's been times when I've been like, why did I decide to do this? And then
Hmm.
there's other times where I just love it so much that I can't think of doing anything else ever.
Now, what do you love most about it? What about your creative process? What do you love about your creative process that goes into the music that you also may have a love hate, the hate relationship with as well?
Yeah. I love the simple fact that I get to have the creative process.
Mm,
That
okay.
I'm in a position now where I do music full time, where for years I'd be bartending or waiting tables, or I was working at horse barns shoveling horse crap, and I would be like,
Hmm.
I'd have all these ideas in my head, and I'd be writing them down or doing voice memos here and there, and just kind of working on it whenever I could. And now I get to do this full time, and I just feel super grateful to even have the opportunity to be able to have a creative process.
Oh yeah. I mean,
You
that's
know,
it sounds like one like many of the other artists I've been able to speak with, through either text or, a face-to-face conversation. It's something that I've noticed every independent artist, they cherish their own creative process. Like their uniqueness. It's like kind of like their identity, but it also stems from something maybe that's come from when they were a child or when they were growing up or something that was like their peace or their safe space and escape. You know what I'm saying? I mean, would you agree to that or?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay.
For me,
Go ahead.
for me, I when my sister and I were younger, we would go. I was older than she was, so I'd always drive, and we'd go on
Mm.
these drives, and we'd just drive on the back roads and have the windows down, and she'd stick her feet out the window, and we'd just be hanging out. And for me, when my song, all of for the most part, my ideas all come to me when I'm driving, and then I'll work on them, later after I get home. So
I
that's
was
always
gonna I
neat.
was gonna kind of ask you that. Like, is that part of how you like put you in a space to kind of write music? Your inspiration is that where it kind of draws from?
It does, yeah. There's a lot of it that
Excuse me.
happens. You're fine. I mean, I've got a new song coming out uh, in March, I think,
Uh oh,
and
let's go. That's quick. We just had one we're gonna talk about soon.
I know, I know. But this one, it was funny. I was on a trip. I was headed to my best friend's house. She lives in Missouri, and I was headed there. And um, this idea came to me, and I'm like trying to voice memo one of my co-writers, and I'm like, dude, this is a great idea, and it goes like this, you know. And I'm just trying to see if he'd be on board to write it, and he loved it. So yeah, it's really interesting how it just kind of comes out of nowhere. It feels like.
I love that though. I love that because I mean, now with your creative process, like through that whole, that process of like coming through it. Now, do you write all your songs now? Do you collaborate with writing, or is it just yourself? Like, do you collab? Like you said, your sister, you love driving with that. Like, is that something you guys work on together? But you did say you're the only musical one, right?
Yeah.
But like, as far as behind the scenes on the production side, do they help out with that at all?
No. So to, for your first question, I do solo writes and I do co-writes. So
Hmm.
my single that I released this last summer, I wrote completely by myself, and then this new single that I just wrote, that was a co-write. So it just kind of
Okay.
depends on the song, and what we're doing.
Okay.
But as far as production with my siblings being involved, no, they're not involved in any of that. Although I do, every time I get a mix back, I send it to my sister, and I just,
I love
she's,
that.
yeah, I just know that she'll tell me the truth, number one.
That's
And
awesome. Hey, that is so good to have on your side because not, you may not have that person out there, and for it to be your sister, I mean, that's got
yeah,
to make her feel really good too, and I'm
yeah.
sure she does. I'm sure she loves
She
you
doesn't.
to pieces.
Have you ever heard of Black Crow syndrome?
I don't think so.
So it's a thing they say in like the just creative community that you should never send your stuff to your family or your
Mm.
best friends because they all have black crow syndrome, meaning they're the mama crow and they think all of their baby crows are the blackest and the best. So like
Okay.
you can't send it to them because they'll never be like, hey, that's not really there.
I
Uh,
understand.
but my sister, she's always just very upfront and she'll always tell me she's always real.
She don't like to mince words at all. She'll tell you straight up. Be like, look,
Yeah,
girl,
she's
you need
she
a
doesn't hold
you
back.
need a little get a little in your voice. Let them know
Mhm.
what's up. Speak.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite? Do you have a favorite track that you're either working on or you have put out, or do you have one? Your favorite track is something you can't talk about yet. Is it in that kind of situation?
I hmm. I have favorites that I've released for sure, but for different reasons. I really like the new song
Hmm.
a lot.
I
I
do
think
love it
that's
too.
I think that's one of my favorites currently, and maybe it's just because it's new and I'm excited about it. Uh, but then I've got a couple on my EP. I have Muddy Water, which is the last song on the EP,
Mm-hmm.
and I wrote that. I grew up in a rough environment. We were around a lot of domestic violence, and just it was really tough growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I wrote that song, it gave me it really gave me a sense of power to sing it when I came from circumstances where I didn't have any power, if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense.
Being able to get on stage and sing that song always makes me feel really powerful, and it's kind of a full circle moment for me. So I do like that one. Uh, they all, it's like they're all my little like kids, Like I love them all for different reasons.
They're all your little black crows.
They are. They are. And I'm obsessed with all of them for different reasons. I like my song Tuesday because it tells a story about, when I was arrested and went to jail. And then I love my song Light Me Up because it's a love song and
Hmm.
it's just a beautiful ballad. And I love ballads. So I
I
don't know.
like that. I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. That was really okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when it comes to recording, how does performing live? And we're gonna talk about this. I guess you could jump into this part after your answer. How does performing live compare to studio work? Because recently, I believe at the beginning of this year, you started a residency, correct?
I
So
did. Yeah.
how does that compare to studio work? And I'm sure they both have, what you love about them the most. But do you have one favorite over the other?
Again, I like both of these for different reasons. I love being in the studio because I get to work on really technical things that when I'm performing live, I'm not necessarily paying as much attention to. You know what I mean? So when I'm in studio, I can really break things down and take things note by note and really get exactly what I'm wanting to get out of the song, or deliver a line in the exact way that I'm wanting to deliver it to where it's just as perfect as I can get it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really, really enjoy that process. It's so much fun. It's really, really fun. And then performing live, there's literally nothing like it. It's
Really?
like, no, I can't even explain it. It's just what I was meant to be doing. And every time I get on stage, I get full body goosebumps.
That's awesome for you to be able to say. Not a lot of people can say this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yeah, it's amazing, and you feed off the energy from the crowd. You can feel it legitimately. You can feel it, and it's just this experience of connectivity that only music can offer. Music is the universal language. So even if nobody
Yeah.
has heard your music, they don't even speak English, it doesn't matter. It can still move them in some kind of way, and that connects all of us. So I think that's one of my favorite things, probably.
That's awesome. How's the residency going so far?
It's so good. Opening night was last.
It's so good, huh? Okay.
It's going great. It was
That's
great.
awesome.
We had a really good turnout, and I'm really excited for the opportunity to be able to be there every month and have people, be able to plan and come in for it. And the venue is just awesome. It's such a cool venue. Have you ever been to Grey's on Main?
I've never been. Never been. I've only traveled because of the time I was in the service, or because we moved from Delaware down to North Carolina. But I haven't been to many places. I'm trying to make it out to Kingsport. A friend of mine, Chance, he's got that venue out there.
Yeah,
I'd like to really go check it out. Shake that guy's hand. He's a heck of an artist as well.
he is.
But no, I'd like to come if I ever have the opportunity and you are out there and I'm out there, and I would definitely look that up and try and get out there for sure. I would make it a point to let you know. Hey,
You should.
I would.
You should. Y'all
definitely would make
come
it.
have a little family night or have a little date night. It's so fun. It's a really cool venue. It's
It
just
would be cool.
it's
We'll
so
have to
cool.
look into that. We'll have to look into that. Me and the
Yeah.
wife. We'll look into that in the coming months. I wanted to ask, with the residency, or even without the residency, other live performances. Do you have any what's your most memorable? You have any most memorable ones, or anything that stands out that you'll say I'll never forget this live performance ever?
Yeah. The very first time I ever played at Grey's on Main was very memorable for me because I had just signed my deal with my business partners to create my company. And Grey's, they've just really supported me with my music. I actually worked there and waited tables there for 3.5 years before I went full time with music. And being able to step on the stage as an artist, and that was just, and all of these people came to see me. I was like, what is going on? And it wasn't just my friends. It was people from out of town that had heard about me or something. And then they come up to me and I don't recognize them. And then I think I'm being rude because I think, well, maybe I knew them and I forgot them and now I'm a jerk. And so it was just a very surreal experience for these people to be like, we came here to see you.
Yeah, like
like,
you don't know who we are. We're here to see you, though.
Yeah.
Like that's for you. I mean, on the outside, that's someone who is super humble, because you felt so concerned. You were like a little upset at the fact you didn't recognize these people, and you felt like you should have, because you hold yourself to a certain level. You have a certain way that you think of yourself and your music. So, and I won't put a label on it because I'm not one to speak on that level, but you hold yourself in that regard of, I should know you. You don't think of there's people just coming to just listen and just see and all that jazz. Yeah. I mean, that's really cool. I mean, that's how you can tell you are a super humble human, and that's awesome quality to have.
I think I think it's important, and I've had experiences when I was waiting tables because I waited tables in Franklin, Tennessee, which is just south of Nashville. And
Mm.
we'd have a lot of celebrities come in, a lot of really, really, really famous artists. And so that was an amazing experience for me because I would get to meet them. But a couple of times over the years, I would meet an artist that grew up listening to or whatever, and it would be a bad experience. And I just remember thinking that I never want to be the reason someone makes me feel the way I felt at that point.
Right.
Like, I never want somebody to meet me and be like, God dang, don't waste your time on Emily. Like, even if I wasn't in music, I
Right.
never want to make anybody feel like that. I always want people to leave, better than what they came with. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
You
I
always,
just,
you feel like you want to give them, you want them to have something. You like,
Mhm.
I don't know how to explain it. I kind of get what you're saying because it's like I feel that same similarity when it comes to when I do the show. Like I
Absolutely.
want folks to leave with either a better outlook on their day, a song they've never heard of, you know, assurance or an affirmation of hey, it's okay to be this way today, like
Yeah.
something. You know what I mean? And I get that not knowing how to put it into words. So I mean, I love that though. It shows a lot about a person, I guess. I mean, when I see it happen and hear about it happen, I look at him like, man, that's a hell of a human being. I love that human being. I don't even know who that human being is. I love that human being to death. I use over human being. I use human being over too much, but now it more like a sound, like a Ted Lasso thing. Like my words came as sound. I don't know if you're into Ted Lasso. I just started that stuff.
That's awesome.
Um, Outside of music, I do have to know though. Outside of music, because you said you worked on a farm for a little while.
Ranch.
You rode horses. Do you have any other hobbies besides
I,
music and horses?
I do. I ride motorcycles. I have a motorcycle that I
Mm.
love. Her name is Esther.
Is it
Named
an
it.
Indian? A
No,
Harley?
I wish it was an Indian.
Okay.
It's a Honda Shadow 600 that I'll
Okay.
send you a picture of her on IG. My
Okay.
boyfriend built it for me, and so he rides, and it
He
looks
look.
like
He looks like he rides. He looks
he
like he
does.
rides. I like the beard bun. I love the beard bun. I
It's
saw a
like
video of him.
this long.
It's wicked. It's impressive. It's impressive. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. So motorcycles. You like that?
So yeah, I love riding motorcycles. And what's funny is I grew up always loving motorcycles, but I never had one of my own, and I always wanted one. And when Jared and I started dating, the first date we ever went on, he took me on a ride, and we went on like this 3 hour ride to this waterfall. It was awesome.
Of course.
And he was like, "Do you want to ride? You want to learn how to ride?" And I was like, "Learn? I already know."
Which who you talking to? Who you
What are you
talking
talking
to?
about? And then,
Jared.
yeah, come on. But it'd been a really long time. So he set me up. He got all these cones and just really worked with me on like my slow maneuvers and everything.
Uh-huh.
And I took the course to get my license, and we've just been going ever since. I love it. I love it so much.
So that's like a you and him thing. It's
Yeah,
like
we
it's
ride.
like your little escape together. You guys just go for a ride, and you're not talking to each other. I mean, unless you're Bluetoothing it up. I
We
mean, you guys are
Bluetooth.
just okay. Because I'm thinking it'd be, I'm sure that you guys have the moment. You ever riding, going for a ride, and you're not Bluetoothed, and you're just riding, and I'm
Oh no.
sure you're thinking about him and getting behind him and watching him and be like, I love this Jared so much on his bike.
It's so cool. It is so cool. And sometimes like we'll be riding and he'll like pull up next to me. I'm like, he's so hot. You know? I'm like, oh, I need to pay attention and watch where I'm going.
Right, and that's why you got the Bluetooth. That's why you got
Yeah,
the Bluetooth.
exactly.
He's like,
It's
look,
it's a I love it because it gives you so much freedom. There's really nothing like it. Like I rode horses, like I said, for years professionally, but I broke my back.
mm,
And so now I can't really ride like I used to, but I can ride a motorcycle. So I'm like, let's go. It's
happy
been fun.
medium.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
I like that happy medium.
Yeah.
Um, get back into the music a little bit. Get back into the music a little bit. Do you have any? You said you're working on a song. Can you give us a little bit about it, or is that something you gotta hush hush?
can.
Okay.
A little bit. I've actually got two that
Oh.
are coming out. Two more.
All right.
The first one's going to be released in March. Is kind of the plan at this
Okay.
point. Uh, and I will say this. Okay. Let me stutter a little bit more. When I was on my way to Missouri to see one of my friends, this memory popped up of this boyfriend that I used to have. And he would always say mean things to me. And one of those things was, "You are so lucky that I love you. You are just so lucky that a guy like me even gives you the time of day," kind of thing, right? You're just so lucky. So I'm thinking about that, and it was just pissing me off, you know. And I thought, and I said this out loud, and I was like, thank God that never worked out. And so that's kind of how the song was born. So I won't say any more about it, but it's going to be released right after St. Patrick's Day, and it has something to do with like my luck running out. Thank God my luck ran out.
So we got two Emily Elgin tracks coming out in March.
Yep. No, one in March, and then the other one will follow that.
Okay. I'm about to say, listen, March, we about to be jumping with some EE in this motherfucker.
I know it.
So you said you love road trips. You said you love riding on the bike. Little bit of on the spot. If you're on a road trip, what are the 3 albums that you're gonna listen to? Only 3 albums.
Ooh. Traveler, Chris Stapleton. Traveler album.
Love
Chris
it.
Stapleton. I want to say maybe an Eagles album, or it's really hard because I don't know if I do Eagles or 50 Cent. You know?
Okay. Well, you got 3 slots. You know, you get 3 albums to choose from. You got 3
I know, but
albums
then
to
you
put
have
in.
Prince.
You
So
do.
Prince, yeah. I think we'll do Prince,
Okay.
Stapleton. And I feel bad because I'm not representing any women, but 50 Cent, like, you can't.
Listen, you can't go wrong with him.
I love him.
In the club.
I would fangirl if I ever got to meet him.
I mean, I feel like he would just be the realest dude ever. He's been through so
I feel
much
like
in
he'd
life.
be so cool.
Like, I got no reason to be upset. I've been shot a bunch of times. Like, we just can I just be your friend? You ain't gonna hurt me, are you? I mean, and he's done some great movies. I love his movies he's been in. Have you seen the movie The Den that he was in?
No, is it good?
Ooh, it is a good movie. It's about like him and his other homies, and they do like this weird like heist thing, and they're veterans, like the bunch of veteran guys. So they got all this like military background and stuff, and they use it to their advantage. It's just wicked. It's a great movie. I'm sure you enjoy it.
Have you seen, there was this reality show once that I've seen clips of it, but it was these moms playing jokes on their sons. And
No.
so he came in and they were like, "Hey, I want to introduce you to my new boyfriend." And he comes walking out of the room and they're like, "What is going on?" And saying that like he's dating their mom, and it was just hilarious.
I've never seen that before.
Yeah, I've seen clips of it here and there on TikTok. It's so funny.
I might have to check it out.
You should.
I might have to check it out. Okay. We're back in the music. We're still in the music. Okay, so you're at the residency, right? Do you have a dream venue? That's like, this is the alpha and the almighty of the country, just maybe Emily Elgin's dreams.
Yeah. For me, it would be to perform at the Grand Ole Opry or at the Ryman. Really, I want both. But the Grand Ole Opry, having it's called your Grand Ole Opry debut.
Mm-hmm.
That would be one of those moments for me to where I was like, okay, I made it. Like, I finally,
Right.
And it's such a prestigious thing to be able to perform there. And that would be it for
I
sure.
mean, so many people have walked that stage. And I think that's where a lot of that emotion on your part as an artist and everyone else who's been on there who's felt some sort of emotional connection or have had that expression outwardly. I think it's because of, how deeply y'all feel for what it is you do. And like you said, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So I can only imagine that, your time on that stage, because we don't say if, we say when things happen. We don't believe in the ifs, we believe in the whens around here. So if we don't speak that way, we won't ever see it get to that point. So we're going to
Yeah.
say when from here on out. When Emily gets to the Grand Ole Opry and she walks onto the stage, the flow of emotions outwardly, I think, is just going to show everyone. Like I said, the humbleness, the journey, the fight, the want. This is what I'm supposed to do. I mean,
I think you
I'm a,
really just hit the nail on the head right there when just talking about the journey and the fight for it. And you just have to envision it. I've literally been driving down the road and I sit there and I envision what the crowd will look like, what the lights will feel like. Because on a stage like that, they're so hot, they're bright, and you can't see anybody. But it's just still this experience that I have trouble even putting into words. And so
I
I
mean,
just, you know,
I don't
but
think you could trade it for anything, to be honest with you.
no, no.
No. I mean, in anybody's case, it's just, I think from that beginning performance where you said, that first time you were live, that will always stick with you. Like, I think, and I don't have the experience of it, but I think each time it would kind of be like a wow. I can't believe like this is what I do, you know?
It is. I remember one time when I was little, my uncle was playing a festival in Noble, Oklahoma. It's called the Rose Rock Festival.
Okay.
And several thousand people go to this festival, and he was playing with his band, and he was like, "Emily, get up here and sing a song." And I was young,
Hmm.
and I remember singing that song. I don't even remember what song I sang, but I sang it, and the crowd just went nuts. And when they like erupted into applause, it hit me, and it felt like somebody physically hit me. And I just remember standing there being like,
In
"Let's
disbelief.
do this again," you know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
Hmm.
I
It's
love
like
that for you. How old were you said about that?
I was young. I was probably 11,
Oh, okay.
12.
She's just making her own bowls of cereal at this point in life. Oh man. Gosh, that's I gotta say, not that I had any doubt, but I'm enjoying the conversation. I'm enjoying learning more about how this has gone, and just how different artists do things. I love being able
Yeah.
to sit down and kind of just pick the brain a little bit, because I love music. I love music because of what it's done in my life as far as on the receiving end of things, like how music has influenced me. So
Yeah.
that's why, like, I want to appreciate those artists whose music is genuinely something worth listening to and putting out there. Um, so like when people just need that time to get away to escape, they could say, "Well, I'm listening to Emily Elgin," or I'm listening to like these other guys, an Aaron Stapler or Colt
Yeah.
Graves or whatever it is that comes through, a Noah Hunt, and all these guys that come through the show, and gals that come through the show. I've never said gals in my life, but I use it for the first time here this evening, and it was right here with you this evening. So like with that being said, like musical escapes. Is there a certain style, or do you strictly stick to? I'm gonna get it to
That's what I'm.
country when you're escaping. Like, do you have a different style that you listen to, or do you listen to yourself? Do you listen to your music often in that escape, or is it just you know?
Yeah. I do a little bit of everything, I think. I do listen to my own music sometimes. And I think since it is my music, I hear it differently, you
Mhm.
know? But for me, when I listen to my own music, I'm just, it just makes me feel really grateful to to have music out. It's great. It's just the concept is wild to me.
Right.
Um, but if I'm working and I just need some noise in the background, I'll put on like spa music, like the
Okay.
gongs and everything, because I'm just like, and it
Oh,
just
that's
makes
some
me
little
feel
like
relaxed.
I think my wife called them like sound baths, is what
Yes,
they're
sound bath.
called.
Love it.
That's so weird. That's the second time I've heard that phrase today, and I've never heard it before then.
It's a whole thing and it's amazing. So I'll turn stuff like that on if I'm working and because music if I'm trying to work it will distract me because I'll hear something and I'm like, "Oh, that was a good line," or
Mm,
"That's a great concept," and then I'll start musicking with the music instead of working. So I
okay.
have to be careful about like what I'm listening to, but when I'm if I'm just like around cleaning the house and stuff, I'll usually turn on any any station or Spotify playlist that features new upcoming artists because I want to hear
That's awesome.
what the new stuff is. I love outlaw country, so I listen to a lot of that. Um, and then I also listen to like underground rap sometimes, just because I
Let's
like it.
go.
It's cool,
Okay.
and
So you were a fan of Jelly Roll when he was underground, I'm
I
assuming.
love Jelly Roll. I'm obsessed
Ooh.
with him.
Who
Uh,
is it? But man, he is the dude right now.
you know what is interesting about him? He inspires me so much because I come from a a really rough background. Like we grew up with a lot of domestic violence, a lot of addiction, just really bad home life. I grew
Hmm.
into an adult. I made bad decisions. I got arrested several times, went to jail several times, and now I do this. And to see someone like Jelly Roll, who has been to jail way more than I have, and definitely spent more time in than I did, but to see him be so successful with his life and putting so much more back into the community and not being afraid to tell his story has just made me even more like pedal to the metal, full steam ahead. This is who I am, and I'm here to do this. And I just think he's phenomenal. I love
Let me ask
him.
you a question about that. You ever thought about just taking a shot and asking him to collaborate?
Yeah, but number one, I don't know how to get a hold of him. And
Hey, there we can find a way. I am sure if there is a will, and I'm sure you've had a lot of will throughout this whole journey, you have found the way. So I think that there might be a way to get a hold of him. I don't know if you're friends with this other independent artist here on this platform, but his name is Houston. Have you heard of Houston? He wrote a song called Joyride. And I think that's the most recent one that I've been, or Famous is one of his other ones. And him and I are friends here on TikTok, and I've reached out to him. I'm waiting for some responses, but um, he's also friends with Jelly Roll. Um, so we're gonna see how that goes over time. I'm gonna do my due
due diligence,
diligence and keep pushing the door, but not seem to,
yeah,
you know how it is in the industry. You want to get someone's attention. You don't want to be too pushy.
I know. It's I would love that. That is like a dream collab for
I
me.
was
Jelly,
about to ask you that question. That was my next question.
100% dream collab, Jelly Roll. And it's funny because I saw him perform probably like 6 or 7 years ago at Puckett's in Leapers Fork, Tennessee. And Bunny was with him.
Mm-hmm.
I remember looking at her and be like, she's so pretty. And I was like, who is this dude? He's got all his face tattoos and everything, and he's this big dude, and he gets on stage, and I was like, holy crap! And the whole
Yeah,
place just like he got a standing ovation. I mean, it was awesome. And ever since I've just been like Team Jelly Roll. I mean,
yeah.
just I really love when people don't stay a victim of their circumstance. And I think that he's just really taken that and pushed it.
With you saying that, is that what you maybe think, or would I be correct in assuming? Let's put it that way. That that's what makes their work stand out for you.
That he's not a victim of the circumstance.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I
Okay.
think that it's really easy for us to fall into that mindset of, well, this happened to me as a kid and this is why I am that way, or my parents did this and this is why I am that way, or I made these decisions, or so and so did this, and yada yada yada, and that just accumulates into a big pile of crap
Mm-hmm.
that you're living in. And Jelly Roll has taken all of that because he lived in it. I mean, you watch interviews of him saying the same thing. Like he lived that
I've
life.
watched his documentary thing as well.
Yeah.
So
But for him to take personal responsibility for his life and to really use his talents and his gifts, it just like skyrocketed him up. And I just think that's amazing. Like I just really think it's amazing.
he's got one of the biggest hearts around, I think. I mean, what he's most recently been doing at the Capitol,
Yeah, watch
with
that.
the whole fentanyl thing and standing up for that and talking about how, look, like, I'm a guy who can't vote because of my felonies due to
Yeah,
being a drug dealer. And
yeah,
he said, I can stand here in front of you, and if anybody has room to talk, it is me.
yeah.
And where he's coming from and how these guys are looking at him,
Hmm.
I mean, their facial expressions says like, first of all, they can't believe this dude coming in here,
Yes, I know.
and second of all, it's like, I mean, damn, he's calling us on our stuff, but we got to look at him like he has no idea what he's talking about. It's a whole portrayal thing, but he is, yeah, not being a victim of his circumstances or his situation or his upbringing. He's then going back into that same community and those communities where he, caused the issues and the problems, and he's trying to right the wrongs or at least pay back to that community. And I think that's what makes, him, like you were talking about.
I think that's what makes him admirable
Yeah.
because it would be so much easier for him to just take all the money that he's made, which is a shit ton of money,
Yeah.
and just be like, peace out, Girl Scout, I'll see y'all later.
Yeah. I know.
But
I
instead
know.
he's turning around and he's holding out his hand to lift other people up. And for me, that's my foundation of why I do what I do with music, is because I want to be able to turn around and say, hey, like, here's my hand. How can I help you? If you're willing to help yourself, I'm willing to help you.
Right.
So,
I think that's exactly what he's doing. And I mean, he's doing it. It's what every day there's something else. I mean, now he's dedicating himself to a
I
5K by May. Like,
saw that.
I believe that he's going to succeed. Run, walk, or
Yeah.
whatever, crawl. I think he will go across that line
Yeah.
and push himself in the healthiest way that he can, obviously. Um, so what he does for folks, of a larger size with that motivation, aside from those who have come from that bad background and upbringing,
Yeah.
he's now connecting with folks on another level. And it's not with just his music, it's with what he's experienced in life and what he's wanting to do for himself and his daughter and Bunny and everything that goes along with that. And again, like you said, it's very admirable for him to take the bull by the horn, so to speak. I hate to be cliche and use that in things, but I think that's where he's at right now.
Yeah, and I think it's amazing. I think it's awesome. I feel like people really crave authenticity. I know I do.
Mm-hmm.
In a world of fake, everything is
Mm-hmm.
fake, and so much of social media is a facade. So when you see somebody being real and being authentic and genuine, I think that's why they're so successful, is because they're just who they are,
Yeah, I mean, they're being who God intended them to be.
Yeah.
Their unique individual self, and they're not trying to force anything. So, and I think that comes through in all of your music. I think that comes through from Tuesday, like the one we're listening to right now, to your newest one, Should Have Been Raining. So I mean, let's give you let's give you that applaud and that pat on the back and all that standing ovation yourself, because you've not ever once, at least from what we understand, have allowed not making it to the top, so to speak,
Yeah.
lack of better terminology, deter you from continuing
Right.
to chase after that dream.
Yeah, no, not at all. Because, like we've said this so many times during us hanging out, but it's a journey. And
Yeah.
if you keep, you're gonna, every goal that you get to, there's always gonna be something else and something else
Mm-hmm.
and something else. So, do you ever get to the end? No, I think it's continual.
Right.
So learning how to continue to strive during this portion of your journey is so important so that you don't lose the joy of it. Like I
Right.
think keeping that is really, really important because if you don't keep that, then you become jaded and then it's just you're miserable. And
Hmm.
this journey can be really cool. It's very stressful sometimes, and sometimes I'm like, it's so hard, especially as an independent artist because
Right.
I don't have management representation yet. So I'm literally my own booking agent, my own manager, my own assistant, you know,
Hmm.
everything. But it's still an amazing journey to be on. It really is.
How do you balance that journey with, your personal life and with Jared? How is, because I know sometimes the significant other, spouse, however you want to label that individual, may or may not, 9 times out of 10 are not in the industry.
Yeah.
And they're not accustomed, nor are they familiar with what it is that you go through and your scheduling and not having management representation and stuff. So, how do you balance that so well to where you guys can maintain, aside from motorcycles, how do you
Yeah.
guys maintain that, I don't know, that
It's
good balance y'all got?
I think it's just an ever evolving learning process, and it works because we're both very communicative.
Mm-hmm.
He's really supportive of my career, of my dream. Like he's so
Awesome.
supportive. But you know, he would do this thing to where he'd come home from work and he'd be like, "Hey, babe, what'd you do today?" And my brain, I would just start like short circuiting because I do so many tasks during the day to try to sit down and recap what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Like my brain, I can't. It's just
Right.
too much. And so it's just learning. It's just learning what goes into it for him. Like he's learning what goes into it and what I do during the day, and I'm learning how to decompress.
Mm.
Like I could literally work until 2 and 3 in the morning, which I've done. That's not
Right.
healthy. So me learning to set a boundary with myself of okay, the rest of this stuff it can wait. I got done all of these tasks that I need to get done. Turn it off. It'll be there tomorrow, and just kind of decompress so that I can be present. Because if I don't do that, then I can't be present. I'm not present with myself. I'm not present with him.
Right.
So it's just, I'll have people texting me all, all day, all night. I'll wake up. I've got 17 messages, and I used to
Uh,
just, I'll get back to you in the morning. I'll do this, and now I'm just like, do not disturb.
right.
And if it's super important, if somebody's dying, call me.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll get to you in the morning. you know.
And I love that he understands, that you're willing to do that. You don't, you try not to, I guess what other folks would say with the 9 to 5. I try to leave work at work and keep home at home, and I don't try to mix the two as much as possible because then it takes away from, I guess, the purity and the escape from. And I hate to say escape from home stuff, but I mean every once in a while you need escape from your chores. Every once in a while you need escape from those home responsibilities. So it's really cool that there's an understanding and especially the control on your behalf, with being able to turn that switch on and off, as hard as that is for a lot of people in so many different industries and career fields, music being one of the hardest, I think.
It is, and it's just at the end of the day, if I don't, it affects your mental health, right? And we
Hmm.
live in a society now where mental health is something that is being talked about so much, which I think is amazing.
Right.
But it really affects your mental health if you never stop.
Hmm.
You have to stop. You
Hmm.
have to. You have to enjoy, sitting on the couch and watching a movie or going outside and you have to put it down at
Right.
some point. And when I first started, I did not do that. And I just ran myself into the ground. And I kind of had one of those come to Jesus moments where I was like, all right, this is making me sick. I'm not healthy. I'm not okay. I need to
Right.
really figure out my time management. So I did,
Hmm.
and things are good now.
That's good. That's good. Well, I mean, it sounds like everything in the world of Emily Elgin is just rolling like one of them great steam engines. I kind of want to ask if Miss Paula, if you're okay, if Miss Paula has a question for you, because I know there's a few subscribers down here that may want to ask a question. Miss Paula, like I said, is obsessed with you, and I want to give her the opportunity to either say hello or whatever it is she wants to do because I just I sense like you fangirl or 50 Cent. I feel like Miss Paula a little fangirl right
I
now.
love that. That honestly, it means so much to me that she listens to my music, and I just, again, it's just this crazy phenomenon. I feel like that people love it the way they do. It makes me feel really grateful. I'm really
I
thankful.
mean, I thought it was very surprising to me when you're like, hey, you play a song, yeah, sure, and then like when you said no one like you've not heard your music played, like yeah, I don't know. That's me thinking like that's off the wall. Like why would it not have been played anywhere? You know?
Yeah, I don't know if I told you this, but I cried. I was like,
No.
oh my gosh! I just
I
started
think
crying.
you posted a video. I think you posted a video to your TikTok, and I
Uh
was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I showed my wife. She was like, "Oh my gosh, she's so sweet." And I was like, "I think
Yeah.
it's super cool, but at the same time, I'm just I don't do okay. I don't want anything. I'm not looking for anything. I love to support, like I said, independent artists,
Yeah.
and I will always give my authentic 100% reaction or
Mhm.
opinion of what I've listened to
Yeah.
because not that I have any professional background to say this guy's he's like that critic from Ratatouille, but when it comes to music, no. See, no, that's not me. It's not me. I feel like I have some sort of an ear. Everybody immediately was just like, "Well, she sounds like she could be related to Reba." Then when I looked at your picture and I was like, she kind of looks like she could be like her freaking niece or something. And then everyone was looking and they were saying the same thing. I was like, I just don't understand. I'm being completely honest. I don't understand how your music hadn't been played yet. And granted, we know you don't have like 3 albums out and all that other stuff, but the mere fact of the quality of the music you put out is something aside from just hey I put this together on my iPhone or my Android HTC or whatever. um, there's good quality to it, there's an authenticity, a genuineness behind it, and it's consistent through each of the tracks that we've heard and that I've got to hear. I mean, and I've listened to them over and over, like I said, because I have it in the truck or it's coming up on the playlist on Tuesdays or Wednesdays or whatever it is whenever we play them. I'm thankful that you came across the show. I'm thankful that you stumbled upon the live. And you're like,
I
hey, I'm just gonna ask to play my song.
You know what was crazy is I stumbled on the live, and I got in, and I was like, this guy's cool and he's listening to some cool stuff. And you were just vibing, and
Mm-hmm.
I said, all right, well, I'm going to ask him. So when I said, will you play my stuff? And you said, yeah, I got so nervous. I started
Oh,
sweating. My
oh,
heart
come
was like
on.
beating so fast. And I was like sweating. And Jared came, I was in the bedroom. I was laying on the bed. And Jared came in there. And he's like, what are you doing? I was like, this guy's about to play my song on his stage. And I just like freaked out. But so I'll never forget that moment. It was a really good moment.
Oh man, I don't. I think it's really cool. To. I love for other folks that are listening to the music to be able to show you the artist, um, how they're feeling or what they're getting by tapping the screen or showing some love or and I think I tell everyone this, or at least mention it when they come through. Hey, we guys can give you your real opinion. You're gonna get a cut and dry how it is because I mean the vulnerability coming out and asking someone to play your music says a lot about the person. One, so I'm like, you know what, you got the balls, come out here. You want to ask to play your music? Sure, let's go. I don't care. I love it. Good, bad, or ugly. I'm gonna play it, and we're gonna let you know. Hey, you need some work. Hey, work on this. Hey, I love what you're doing, but boom, boom, boom. There's You're not in that category. You're in one of the categories with everyone else that comes through, and we love what you're doing. We can't wait to hear more. Um, and I was wondering if there are any questions. Let me look real quick. I don't think there are. I don't think Miss Paula has one. She just says hi. Me
Oh,
too.
tell her hi. I
She
guess I
kind
can
of
tell
got.
her hi. Hi, Paula.
I think she's got fangirl fingers and doesn't know how to type it right now. It's okay. I was wondering if we might be able to get a sample from you this evening before. If you're prepared, if you're not prepared, you don't have to do a sample. But would you prepare to do it? Would you be able to do a sample of any song of your choosing?
I I need to get my guitar. Right, I did not have it.
It's
Open.
totally up to you. You don't have to. We're just asking. If you want to do it, we're down. We're gonna
Well,
turn
I
you.
mean, I don't mind at all if you don't mind me
Okay.
jumping on the screen for a second to grab my
Do
guitar.
it. No, 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 no. You take your time. You do what you're doing. We'd be honored to hear you play live for us.
Okay, let me grab it. It'll take me 2 seconds.
Go for it. Take your time. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get ready here. I'm gonna pull Miss Emily's music from the backtrack down. Just gonna give it a little bit of an introduction, and then she's gonna let us know what's going on. How's everybody doing down there? I see y'all. Paula, Nicole, Amy, thank you so much. Adam Brown, there we go. Here we go.
Let me tune this sucker.
Hey, you take whatever time you need to take.
This one always gets in trouble. All right. Okay.
So what are you gonna play for us on this Thursday? Is it Thursday, right? Thursday evening.
Thursday even. I wrote this song here a while back, and it's, we've talked a little bit about my life and kind of the stuff that I was raised in, and then decisions that I made along the way. And I had sat down to write a song, and this came out instead. Completely different than what I was going to write, but it talks about things that I've quit doing that have led me to where I am today, and just kind of how thankful I am for it. So this is called Calm Waters. Do you want me to sing the whole thing, or just half of it, or what you want?
You sing whatever you feel comfortable with. We're here hanging out. If you want to go halfway through, you want to sing a chorus, or want to go through your whatever you want, a verse. You tell us what you're gonna do, and then we'll go from there.
Hopefully you can hear me.
I can hear you.
You can? Okay. I quit doing cocaine and most other bad things, 'cause you get sick and tired of always living on the wire and always looking for someone to blame. I did a lot of thinking and a whole lot less drinking. More up with the sun, go to bed when day is done, write my stories for everyone to hear me singing. 'Cause I found calm waters in a book that lays by my bed. It reads, "Come to me, all who are weary, and I will give you rest." Well, these days life is kind. I enjoy this side of the line. I will give you rest. I will give you, oh, I will give you rest.
What the hell did we just get to witness? Listen, that was amazing. I'm not just saying it. I
Thank you.
had genuine ass chills. And I started to get a little like emotional a little bit.
Yay, good.
Thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Like,
I appreciate it.
and that was Calm Waters.
Calm Waters. Hmm.
Okay, and that one's not out, right? Or is it? I can't remember.
It's not. It's
It's
not.
not.
I think I'd like to put it on a debut album, and produce it and everything. Well, I wouldn't produce it. I'm my producer, but I'd like to put it out.
One question about debut albums.
Hmm.
Would you consider when you do, because we don't say if, we say when, would
Yes.
you consider when you do creating and I'll pay for it, a vinyl copy?
Oh, I would love to do vinyls. I
And
want to do vinyls so bad. They're just so expensive, so I haven't
I
been able to.
know I want to play it on my little record player that I got in the back.
That would be awesome.
I'm gonna try and I'm trying to ask everyone, these independents, you guys to do vinyls. I feel like that it will say something to yourself, especially once you have a vinyl record
Yeah,
of your own music, whether it's just a vinyl color you chose or it's silver, gold, platinum, whatever the hell it gets to.
yeah.
I want a copy on vinyl at
100%.
some point.
That would be awesome.
We will arrange it. We will figure it all out. I'll call them up, be like, look, I need you to press this. This is what we need, and this is the color of vinyl we're going to use. Do you prefer
Yeah,
vinyl? Do you prefer the sound of vinyl
I do.
over? You do, okay.
Oh yeah, there's just nothing like I grew up listening to records.
Yeah.
My mama had a turntable, so we that's how we listened to music, and so
Okay. Okay.
I
I
love
mean,
records.
I love. I agree. I agree.
It's
There's nothing else to say
there's
about
like
it.
just putting a needle on the record. It's just like it's awesome. I love it.
You can't be that. I mean, you just got to be careful. Not everyone's a good needle placer
They're
because
not because
you'll
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 scratch
scratch
it.
them up. Yes.
Yeah, and then it's done. Then it's over. But yeah, they're awesome. I love vinyls.
I had so much fun having you here this
Thank
evening.
you. Thank you so
It
much
was,
for having me.
of course, no need to thank me. I'm the one thanking you. It took some of your time this evening. It's a pleasure getting to speak to you,
Likewise.
meet you virtually. One day
Yeah.
we'll be seeing Miss Emily Elgin live on stage somewhere. It could be at her residency at the what?
Gray's on Main in downtown Franklin. I'm there the first Friday of every month until June.
So if anybody's out there listening and they're in that area, please check her out. If you're not in that area, check her out because we don't know when she'll go on tour or where she'll go on tour. But when that happens,
I'm going. I've got a couple of dates. I'll be in Bentonville, Arkansas on February 8th and Oklahoma
okay.
City on February 10th.
Okay, maybe we got reach out to them OKC basketball team and get you to do a little national
Right?
anthem. I think that's what we need to start doing. Try and get you on some of them stages too, a little
That
bit.
would, that would be amazing.
Imagine your voice inside of a basketball arena.
I would freak out. I
Right,
would freak out.
right.
That'd be so cool.
And then you can go to Madison. You can go to
Yes.
Madison Square
Yeah.
Garden, and then that's your life. You're done.
Yeah. Done.
Never
Then
done.
we made it.
Yep, yep. That you made it. You made it right there. I want to say thank you one more time for being here. I want to say thank you to everybody here hanging out with us. Yes, she is on Apple Music.
Yes, on Apple Music. Thank you guys so much for, Grant for having me and everybody
Mhm.
else for listening and following along. It really means a lot to me and I feel very grateful. I really
Well,
do.
we're grateful, thankful, and privileged to have been able to have you here, listen to your music, and we will continue to feel so and be all of those things in the future as you put more out. And you said around after St. Patrick's Day in March, you'll be having one come out.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Do we know the name, or are you gonna hold us to? You gonna hold off on the name?
That's a secret still, so we'll
Okay. Okay. We just know it's about that story we heard.
Yep.
And we're not going to go any further. Okay.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for your time this evening. We look forward to talking to you again in the future. I'm going to be sending you that picture, and I look forward to seeing the one that
Yeah.
you're going to send me. If there's anything we can do, um, you can reach out to us. We'll do what we can. Constantly reaching out to 96.7 Yoko Nashville Genre Free Radio. We're going to keep trying to push everybody's music that comes through here, including the Miss Emily Elgin that comes through here as well. She's come through here. If you guys want her music and all that and more, I encourage you to go follow her on social media platforms across the board. I can say that safely and securely. Okay.
Yeah.
And music's available everywhere you stream your music, correct?
Everywhere you stream your music, you can get it.
Awesome. Anything else you want to let the people know you got going on that you haven't said, or are you good for this evening,
I
madam?
feel like we covered everything. I think we just really did it.
Crushed it.
Yeah.
Crushed it. I'm thankful. I had a great time,
Likewise.
and I think we just stop dragging it out and have you a great night tonight.
Thank you so
Tell
much. Have a
tell
great-
Jared thank you, by the way, for allowing us some
I
of
will.
his QT with his QT.
I will.
All right, we'll talk to you later. It was a pleasure.
Thanks.
All right,
Bye.
guys, take care.